What is up, everybody? How you doing? I am Stagtastic, coming back at you in Way of the Hunter with our second installment of the series called Everything You Need to Know. This is a series about everything that you need to know about hunting a specific animal found in Way of the Hunter. If this is your very first time visiting the channel, I want to extend a very warm welcome to you. I hope that I can help guide you to becoming a better, more successful hunter, and I hope that you find everything here that you're looking for plus more. If you're returning to the channel, I want to welcome you back and say thank you so much for your continued support. I could not do what I do without you, so thank you very much. If you have not already seen our first installment of the series, Everything You Need to Know About Hunting White-tailed Deer, let me encourage you to go and see that as well. I'll leave the link in the description below. With all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into what you all came here for. This is everything that you need to know about hunting elk in Way of the Hunter. To start off, let's go ahead and talk about and understand elk better in general. I'm a firm believer that the more you know about a specific kind of animal, then the more respect we can grow to have for them. The North American elk is one of the largest and most majestic mammals that we have the privilege of hunting in Way of the Hunter. They are both beautiful and mighty, capturing the hearts of people across the world. Elk are the largest member of the deer family, although in early times elk were considered to be of the same family as moose due to their large stature, and were appropriately called the wapiti by natives, which ultimately means white rump due to their large white rumps. As a side note, in Way of the Hunter, the authors have mentioned that wapiti simply means light-colored deer. Either interpretation is accurate overall, but I like to think that the word refers to their unmistakable white rump. Hunters and non-hunters alike can agree that elk are wondrous creatures to behold. Elk can be found primarily in North America, but are also native to Central and East Asia. There were originally 6 subspecies of elk, those being the Roosevelt, Tule, Rocky Mountain, and the Manitoban elk. Unfortunately, 2 of the original elk species have since gone extinct. In Way of the Hunter, elk have retained that noble heritage of being proud, bold, and fearless creatures. Let's talk about the physical features of elk. In Way of the Hunter, an elk's maximum life expectancy is 12 years. This is equivalent to approximately 36 days on the lower end to 48 days on the higher end of in-game days. When you see a mature elk, note that they are already between 7 and 12 years of age when you find them. This information is important because I recently stumbled on my own 5-star. I went back to the lodge and I decided to prepare and plan for my hunt. Outside of knowing that the elk was a 5-star mature, I went ahead and I decided to sleep through to the next day to find that same 5-star at a need zone. He ended up passing away and a new 1-star young had replaced him. All that to say that if you do find a 4 or 5-star mature, you don't want to wait too long to harvest them. Elk range from 392 pounds to almost 1,100 pounds for large bulls and 376 pounds to approximately 650 pounds for larger cows or female elk. Bull elk are not easily mistaken for any other mammal in the game. Elk are strong with large, thick bodies and very short tails. As mentioned, their fur is light but gets significantly darker as you move from rump to head. In fact, the entire neck and head area change to a much darker brown color in contrast with the rest of their body. For anyone who may be playing on the hardest ranger difficulty, pay very close attention to the elk's fur. Younger bulls have a lighter fur, while mature bull elk have a darker fur in comparison. Let's go ahead and talk about the rifle selection and gear that you're going to want to use when hunting elk. In Way of the Hunter, an elk is in the largest Tier 6 category. The recommended hit energy for an elk is 2,912 all the way to 5,532 joules of energy. Now there are a few Tier 5 rifles that have enough energy to take down an elk at very close ranges. Those 3 rifles being the .308, the .270, and the .30-06. Outside of these 3 tier 5 rifles, I would not recommend hunting elk with any other tier 5 rifle. When it comes to the tier 6 rifles, all are pretty much fair game to take an elk at most near to mid-range distances, except for the 338 Lapua. The 338 Lapua is too powerful even for elk at closer distances. If you do use a 338, be sure to be far enough to make sure that the energy is not too powerful. I shouldn't have to say it, however, you should never hunt an elk with a tier 4 weapon or below. For a complete list of rifles and their energy outputs, let me encourage you to take a look at my video where I break down all that information for you. The information I provide for you is the same information that I look at every single time I plan my hunts, so that I know that I'm always using the proper weapon with the right amount of energy. I'll leave a link in the description below. In addition to your rifle selection, be sure to take your elk collar with you. If you haven't purchased it from the shop, I would recommend that you purchase it if you're going to be hunting elk. As you upgrade your character perks, you'll go from being able to call low fitness males to being able to call in your large trophy bulls. Utilizing your elk call is very important because it is very difficult to get close to elk unless you're already set up in a blind or you're bedded down somewhere where they happen to be passing through already. Elk are very aware of their surroundings, and so it is so easy to spook them. Oftentimes you can hear a female elk barking at you, letting you know that you're there, letting you know that they are aware of your presence. Once the elk know that you're nearby, they can remain on edge for a very long period of time, even after you've already spooked them and they've run off. So it's best not to get too close to them unnecessarily. Once a herd of elk has been alerted to you, it will not be possible to utilize your bugle calls. So let me encourage you to stay crouched, move slow, use your sneak ability to better your chances of getting closer. Let's go ahead and talk about shot placement on an elk. Like most members of the deer family, the best place to aim on an elk is in line with their front leg and below their shoulder blade. Aiming for this area will ensure that you always hit at least one lung, and it gives you the best chances of hitting the heart. Heart shots are not always necessary to bring down an elk. However, even with a single lung shot, depending on the caliber that you're using, it may not be enough to bring it down. Elk are strong, powerful, resilient creatures, and they may not go down very quickly. As a general rule, the further back that you aim on an elk, the greater your chances of only wounding them, so strive to hit them in the best location possible. Let's talk about elk habitat locations and need zones. Elk are not as numerous as some of the other members of the deer family. They require a lot of room and resources to live and thrive. This means that the area that a single herd covers is very, very large compared to other animals in the game. For this reason, elk have one primary and one secondary habitat location. Their primary habitat location is in the highland forest areas, those areas being the White Pine Orchard, Thorn Springs, the Cascade Forest, and Hollowitch. Within these areas you will always find the largest and most genetically strong elk. In contrast, an elk's secondary habitat is in the lowland forests, those areas being Small Paws, the Black Fox Range, the Diamond Drill, and Green Acres. In Way of the Hunter, you will need to find and locate all 3 of the available need zones to pattern the herds more accurately. Elk can be found resting at midnight and 1 p.m., eating at 5 a.m. and 5 p.m., and drinking water at 9 a.m. and 10 p.m. So use this information to plan your hunts accordingly. In conclusion, Way of the Hunter gives those who do not have the resources to hunt elk in real life the chance to feel like they do. It is becoming more and more difficult to secure an elk tag these days, but you don't have to worry about that in Way of the Hunter. All it takes is a little bit of hard work and scouting, so get out there, find their need zones, and pattern them properly. If you do all these things, you might even be able to harvest your very own 5-star bull elk, and I hope that you do. With all that said, that is everything that you need to know about hunting elk in Way of the Hunter. If you enjoyed this video, let me go ahead and encourage you to hit that like button and leave a comment for me. I really enjoy interacting with everyone who visits this channel, but I can't do that if I don't know who you are. Let me encourage you once again to subscribe and turn on that notification bell. That way you won't miss the next installment of the series. I love bringing you this content each and every time I go into the woods, and I couldn't do it without your support. It doesn't cost you a thing, but it means a whole lot to me. With that said, I am your humble guide, Stagtastic, and I hope to see you back here real soon. Happy hunting, and take care.